Hey everybody, I'm here with Clay Mills at SongTown Studio. We want to talk today about horrible experiences that happened in co-writes.
The worst co-writes of our lives.
Yes, so that you do not do these things. So we want you to learn from examples. One of them, and I'll start here because this one's been pretty common. A guy, all he did for the first 3 hours, literally all he contributed was saying, I think we can beat that.
Okay, well, let's set the table. You're in a room writing a song. How many writers were in the room?
3 writers.
3 writers, you and 2 other people.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 of you were coming up with stuff and writing the song, and the third person sitting over there doing what?
Basically just judging what we're saying. So the third guy that kept saying that was the artist. So we were writing a song for him. So understandably, he wants it to be something that he would say and sound like him. So, but we're trying, like we're busting our tails trying to come up with things that he likes, and we'll throw it out and he'll just go, no, I think we can beat that, you know? And that's not the only instance that's happened, but finally...
you beat it.
He went to the bathroom and I told the other guy, I'm like, I'm done with this, you know? And so when he came back, we said, we've been working really hard, and all you've said is, I think we could beat this. So we want you to take the lead. I said, I'll type, you play the guitar and sing, and tell us what we need to say here, and you know we can start working on it. And he was like, well, I don't have any ideas. And I said, well, beat it. You know? I mean, and he left.
Just beat it.
And so, you know, it's fine to say, I think we can beat that, if you've got something to offer after that. So like if he had said, I think we can beat that, I want it to be more comforting to her,
right.
You know, or give us some direction, just as opposed to just simply judging what's going on, you know. And the other side of that is I've been in co-writes where one person literally didn't say anything the whole time.
Yeah.
And you're having to go, hey, what are you thinking? You know, and there was even a guy one time, well, 2 times actually, I discovered he was playing golf on his computer, like playing a video game on his computer while we're trying to write a song for him as the artist, you know. So, you know, you want to be engaged and you want to be involved in things so that it's not just 2 people writing a song for the other person. It's, you know, everybody's contributing. And we're all going to be in co-writes where we feel like, maybe I'm a little intimidated, or the other 2 people are more experienced than me, but you still have to contribute. You know, if you want to earn your spot to come back into that co-write again, you've got to contribute. So that's one of mine. Another one.
That was 2. So actually, it's my turn now.
Okay, you go.
I still remember this day very clearly. It was a sunny day. So
the sun was high in the sky.
At the time, I was writing for Roy Orbison's publishing company. Now, Roy had passed away years before, but his wife, Barbara, you know, she had a company, and it was a great company, great writers there. And I was on this roll of writing some hits, and this new guy to town came in, and he sat down to write. And I had this great idea when I walked in the room, and I played him like the first line of the chorus, and I told him where I thought it would go. And he just looked at me and he was like, you know, I don't really hear it. And I stepped out of the room and I told my song plugger, I said, I have got this unbelievable idea. After I go back in the room, go in there and say that I just got a call. I have to go to the studio and record something. Make any story up. So he comes in, he gets me out of the co-write. I call another buddy, we write that song, and we end up getting it cut. It was never a big hit, but it was, you know, a cut on an album. So I tell you this, not to say that I was being a jerk. When someone in the room is on a roll and feels strongly about an idea, you roll with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like in basketball, if one player has got the hot hand and they're making every shot, you don't go, well, wait a minute, I'm not going to pass you the ball because I think this other guy should be shooting right now, you know? So to me, that's one of the worst things you can do in a co-write is when someone's on a roll and they're pumped up and they're excited, is that you just shut it all down. Kind of like you were saying with that guy, well, I think we can beat that. You know, it just kind of kills the whole momentum of the song.
Yeah. You know, I think another thing, and this is, there have been people I had to quit writing with because they were so negative before we started writing.
Yeah.
You know, so we would go in to write and they'd be complaining about the music business and they're complaining about how much songwriters get paid and, you know, a lot of their arguments maybe were valid.
Yeah.
But by the time we got around to writing, I'm like, you know, I just don't have any emotional energy left, you know? So I think it's important to pay attention to what your attitude is doing to the room.
Right.
You know, because a bad attitude or lots of complaining or whining can really bring the room down and cause you not to get something great when you would have otherwise.
I had that same experience with, first came to town, had my first publishing deal, and my publisher set me up with 2 co-writes in my first week. I walk in, and they were both with hit songwriters, and I was just excited. I walk into the first room, the guy's just complaining, today's music sucks, you know, and he's got all these gold records on the wall, and he was just complaining, and, you know, they don't write good songs anymore. Stuff we hear people saying today, well, they've been saying this since the beginning of the music business. Mm-hmm. So we wrote a song that day. My publisher's like, it's okay. 2 days later, I walk in to write with Rory Burke. Same deal. He had a ton of hits, Hall of Fame songwriter. He was all pumped up about, have you heard this new song? And he's like, I'm working with this new kid, Tebe Otto, and he's amazing. We ought to write with him sometime. And he was so excited about what he was doing now. He wasn't caught up in what he had done in the past. He was excited about the future. We wrote a song. My publisher flipped out, started pitching it. And that's what you want. You want to be around people that are positive, that are in the moment, that are thinking about the future. And, you know, this sour grapes thing, you know, and it's easy to do if it's easy to be that person if things aren't going well for you, to blame other people, to become a sourpuss. But, you know, it's not going to help your music career.
You know, and what I recommend to people is if you're feeling down, wait till after the song's written and then say, hey, can I vent for a minute, you know, and then
be professional.
And vent, yeah. Vent after the work is done, you know, because I understand that other songwriters are going to get what you're talking about in a way maybe your partner doesn't or a friend, you know, so it's valuable to be able to talk to other songwriters about issues that are frustrating you, but knowing when to do that is important. You know, It's better to do that over a beer later or at the end of the session, that kind of thing. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had someone scream at you in a co-write?
I think I know what story you're going to tell.
Yes. So I said a word that this woman didn't like, and she literally screamed bloody murder. And then she went into a lecture with me about how that word, and the word was Cinderella. Yeah. It was not like a dirty word or something like that. And, you know, so that write was over at that point. Yeah. You know, she just left. I wasn't going to continue being screamed at. And
because rather than her focus being professional on how can I get a great song today, it was trying to prove some other point that had nothing to do with songwriting. Mm-hmm. And so if you're expecting a professional songwriter like yourself to show up and write with you, your focus needs to be on the songwriting, not on some other hidden agenda that you got going on.
Right. And, you know, if she had just said, hey, I know it's crazy, but that word really bothers me. Yeah. Then I'd have been fine. Okay, we won't put that word in there. I don't want to bother you, you know. Yeah. But to scream at me, you know, and
lecture you.
And lecture me about it, yeah. I mean, and it was to the point where other people were like peeking in the door going, hey, is everything okay? You know? And so, you know, if
they thought you were like hitting her or something.
I don't know. You know, so if there's things you don't want to talk about or you don't want to say in a song, that's fine, but just communicate clearly. Yeah. You know, and, you know, kind of along those lines, another thing that happens in co-write sometimes is someone's just insisting on their way. Yeah. Like, you know, there was a guy I was writing with one time, and after about 2 hours, I'm like, okay, he just wants me here to tell him how great he is, you know, because I would throw out something and he would be like, you want to say that, you know, and then he would throw out something and look at me waiting for me to go, oh, that's awesome, you know, and if I said that, he was like, okay, great, you know, and so it wound up really being his song. It wasn't our song.
Yeah.
So it's important, I think, to remember that it's a collaborative experience, and it needs to be, if there's people that aren't speaking up, you need to try to draw them out. If there's people that speaking or talking too much, maybe you need to say, hey, I need to go out, get a coffee a minute, you know, where you can think without somebody talking.
Yeah.
And, you know, just pay attention to what you're doing to the room, I think is a big skill that people need to learn to develop.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, that the biggest ego in the writing room needs to be the song.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need to be you or I.
Right.
You know, we're there literally to find the best words and the best music for the song. The song is king.
Yeah, absolutely. On that note, we want to thank our sponsor, Sweetwater. They have amazing customer service. They have every piece of gear in the world, I think. And they send you candy when you order. So check out the show notes for link to SongTown, link to some books we've written, all that kind of stuff. We love it if you give us a review or a thumbs up or something, comment, ask questions, whatever. We love to interact with you. Thanks for listening or watching, however you're taking this in. See you soon.
Cheers.